This is Heidi.
And this is Franny.
We're here with Heidi in Franny's garage, and today we're going to see that cute little red 356 that you might have seen in a different episode.
Right, so it's our good friends, Jerry and Judy, and Jerry had some problems with the little red 356, Julietta. And so we're going to go down and do some work on that, which will be fun. But also, as an added bonus and a little treat, they also have a 69 Beetle Cabriolet. And I wanted to show you guys some of the differences between a 356 and a Beetle.
Yeah, and it's going to be super fun. We're going to hang out with Judy, and she's making us a really nice breakfast, and we're really looking forward to it.
Yeah, so it's going to be great fun.
Woohoo!
Yay!
Hi guys! Hi Judy! Hey Judy! Hi Jerry!
How are you, kid?
Good! So which dog is this?
This is Daisy.
Well, she likes
Hi
women.
Daisy!
She doesn't like men much.
Did. You're looking very beautiful this morning. You are!
So,
Heidi, thank you.
I could kind of go through and
It's getting harder and harder.
Sure.
Okay.
Judy, did you make all this?
I did. Okay, this is broccoli and mushroom quiche, and this is spinach and mushroom
Wow.
and tomatoes. I know. I hope
And
Franny loves broccoli.
muffins?
Yes, these are cranberry orange muffins.
Oh my gosh.
So this is a Max Jax. This is
Yes,
like
this is really cool.
this is-
They're bolted to the floor, and they have wheels and removable cables and such, so you can actually put these things away when you're done with them and not fuss up your garage. They're really cool.
nice.
And it's a two-post lift and not a four-post lift, so
So you
you're
can deal
always
with the-
getting the wheels off.
So we
the
need to
ground.
just come down here all the time. We're
Yeah,
swapping
it's
out
really
snow
cool.
tires.
So Jerry's gonna go ahead and
You
lift
ready?
it. Yep.
Okay, here we go.
Yay. And how high did they get, Jerry? About 3-4 feet?
53 inches.
53 inches.
Yeah.
So this works well for somebody that has a lower garage ceiling.
And it's
Yeah, that's another really good thing about it.
Yeah, this is really a great thing because it takes away the danger of working on your car with jack stands. So Jerry, does it have a lock as well?
yes, that's what these are for.
Okay.
So what you do is you there we go.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very
So
cool.
Good solid lock on it.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, it really
that's
doesn't
nice.
take much up space at all.
No, and it's quiet. And the only thing is, it does have to be bolted to the floor so that these bolts are dropped into the concrete there. And Jerry, did you have that re-poured for this, or did you? No. You
No,
just drilled
those- all it needs is at least 4 inches, and I had like 4.5 inches.
4.5 inches.
So,
poured concrete. Okay.
And what they do is they use this industrial epoxy
Oh.
when they drill the hole in.
Oh,
and
okay.
So
And they drop the.
yeah.
Okay.
And it takes about a week and a half to dry.
So we have a great opportunity here today. We've got a 1958 Porsche 356 Cabriolet, and then over here is a 1969 VW Cabriolet. So it's really fun to take a look at the differences between the two of them. And probably a really good place to start is in the engine bay. So let's take a look at the 356 because I'm the most familiar with that. So in the standard 356 engine, certainly of this era, we have 2 carburetors. Independent carburetor. This is an oil filter. We have our generator on the right and our coil here. Now the fuel pump is on the left side here and our distributor on the right. But one important thing is that you can see a bolt down here, and that's because there's a what they call the third piece that's bolted onto the main part of the crankcase. So it's a 3-part crankcase. That's kind of interesting. With the Beetle, the image that we get here is dominated by the air cleaner up here and our single Solex carburetor. Solexes were very common on these cars. Our generator here off on the right. This is a 12-volt car. The R356 is a 6-volt car. You've got your distributor on the left here and your fuel pump on the right. So they are swapped from the 356. Coil up here off at an angle. And the shroud in the back looks fairly similar, except for these horns coming down here. This is part of the heating system on the Beetle, one on each side. But they're both flat for 1600 cc, or this may be a 1500, about the same size engine. The deck lids are this one is they're spring loaded on the Beetle, and they cover a much larger area, and in some ways makes the Beetle quite a bit easier to work on because you just have a lot more access. On a 356, there's a sub body on these cars. It's our friend Doug calls it metal origami. So you basically bend together a bunch of bits of metal and weld them all together to make this sort of subframe, and then this body, this curvaceous body, is then welded over the top of it. On the Beetle, there's a large pan underneath here that everything's bolted to, and these are bolted to the side of the pan. Everything is bolted on top of it. The fenders come off. You can see this gasket here. We can remove the fenders on the Beetle and replace them. That's not possible on the 356. They're actually separate pieces that had to be welded all together. There's a clip actually that runs all the way across here for the rear end. You don't see it because it's all been welded together. But the Beetle's much more modular. So you can literally unbolt this whole top and take this all off the pan. It makes it very different. The doors on the car, you can see, look at the difference in the thickness of the doors. Quite a bit different.
Wow.
And the latches are different, quite a bit different. So the technology in the two cars is a little bit different. And the Beetle has a little more, sort of, you can kind of hear it resonate a bit in this metal. And then it sounds like that, and this sounds, the 356 sounds like quite a bit different. This is just a heavier, more solid door. Also, the glass on the Beetle has a metal surround all the way around it, since we're looking at cabs. And on the 356, not so much.
No surround.
No surround.
Interesting.
Yeah. You really can't say that a 356 and a Beetle are very similar. They are in some respects. The front end is a little bit different, but not a lot different. They both have dual torsion bars in the front for their suspension, but they handle much differently as well. The running hardware is kind of, one of them is a little bit bigger. The 356 is a little more solid than the Beetle. Windshield on the Beetle, at least in this year, is almost completely flat.
Wow.
And the windshield on the 356 is quite rounded. It's quite a bit rounded. You can see a completely different design philosophy in these two cars. They're so similar, they're really just cousins of each other, but the Volkswagen Beetle was designed to be the people's car. It really was designed for Germany's roads, most of them were unpaved. This car has no radiator, oil and air do it all. And you could fix this car on the side of the road. It was solid. It was great on gas, economical. It was constructed in such a way that they could make quite a few of them, and they were easy to repair and easy to replace body parts on. That's a very different design philosophy than trying to make a lightweight, fast, agile sports car, which is what this is. So it's interesting to see the same basic sorts of concepts and parts and things just used in very different ways. And I love both cars. I just absolutely adore them because I love that they're built to a philosophy, and I love that they stay true to those philosophies. And that's why when you drive a Beetle, you see how much higher this car is? They're quite a bit higher. They have better headroom. They've got a back seat. They're quite a bit more practical than the little 356. But if you want to ride up the canyon, that's what this car is for. And it does it like nothing else does. So on the Beetle, I wouldn't call the interior stark, I call it efficient. It serves its purpose perfectly. And I love how they bring the color accent to the car into, so there is some design in here that I really, really like. Buttons are easy to get to, but still sort of out of the way. The stock is very minimal. You have a single turn signal over here, which I believe is also for the brights. You've got a single gauge in the center, which tells you your gas, odometer, and speed. The rest of this is all you got a nice grab handle up here. You've got a nice glove box that you can use. It's a very practical car. There's lots of leg room down here. The door is minimal, but very functional, and of course door handle to open the door. You got a little hand rest and armrest and crank windows and a little pocket here. And then of course you got your wonderful butterfly window. So on the 356 we have quite a bit more across the dash. We actually have 3 gauges, and we have buttons and knobs, and we have a video on what all this stuff is for. But and a nice horn ring, and a little more detail, a little more style possibly on the steering wheel as well. Feels pretty solid. Our door here is also fairly minimalistic, I would say, but you got a nice pocket down here and your pull, your door handles. But there's always just a little bit more. We've got chrome on our door handles and on our window cranks, and a lot more little higher quality materials, maybe just a little more expensive materials. Everywhere on this car they spent more time on kind of fluffy design cues all over the car, whereas the Beetle's designed to be the people's car. It's not supposed to be fancy and flashy.
They do kind of look similar from the front.
They look
you
similar.
look at the headlights and stuff.
There's a little more trunk room under the Beetle hood, and you can see it's a bit rounder anyway, so it's a little more squared off, whereas this is more sleek, but we have less room. Gas tank takes up most of the room of our trunk, whereas it's flattened and lower on the Beetle, so you get a bit more room up front. Wheels are not all that dissimilar, actually. They're about the same. Hubcaps are a little bit different, but we've got drum brakes all around. But looking into these holes, you can't even see the drums on the front wheels of this car. But if you look here, you can certainly see them here. These are the drums. These are the brake drums. They're huge on the 356. They're massive, big aluminum brake drums. So you're always getting sort of upgraded components and things.
Interesting.
So what I really like about these cars is that they are very different, but they're built to this specific design philosophy. Now with the 356 it was quite a bit more expensive than the Beetle, but you got what you paid for. You got bigger brake drums, you got 2 carburetors, you got more power, you got a lighter body, you got better steering, better handling, and it's quintessential Porsche. With the Beetle, you got a car you could drive every day, you could repair on the side of the road if you needed to, and if something horrible happened to it, you weren't in for a very large amount of money, and you could actually replace it for a lot less than you could replace the Porsche. And it's still a wonderful car, and look at both of these cars. 1958, 1969, these cars are both still on the road. That's a huge testament to their and to their design, to the philosophy behind the car, and the love that people had for both of these cars through their entire life. That's one of the things people just adore these things.
Yeah.
And so they took good care of them. So I just adore them. And aren't they cute as a button? Look at this. This is so cute to see the two of them together.
Yep, they're both cute.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Well, I hope you enjoyed this video and the quick little comparison between the Beetle and the 356. If you did, consider sharing the video and please give it a thumbs up. If you got any questions or comments, go ahead and leave them down below.
And in the meantime, safe travels.